The smell. It hit the back of my throat before I saw anything. It wasn't the simple smell of must from an old, decaying building in Madam Mang. This was a layered smell, a topography of decay and injury. The acrid tang of metal rust, that foul stench of corroded iron, mixed with the dry scent of flaking plaster. And under it all, faint but repulsive, was something sickeningly sweet, like fruit left to rot in the dark. Or maybe meat. The steady, monotonous growl of a diesel generator, thrummed somewhere outside, the only sound fighting the absolute stillness. It powered a few bare bulbs, casting a sickly, jaundiced light on the stained concrete walls. That light didn't illuminate. It felt like pus weeping from an old wound. The air was thick. It stuck to my skin like a humid film. I could feel the sweat trickling down the back of my neck, even though this main hall, with its high ceiling, should have been cooler than the suffocating heat outside. Sophia gripped my hand. Her palm was ice-cold and damp, a strange contrast to the heat. "Rithi, I'm not sure about this," she whispered, her voice lost in the room's empty echo. "This place feels wrong. I can't breathe right." I squeezed her hand, a comforting gesture I didn't feel myself. I'm a logical man, a graphic designer. I believe in what you can measure. It's just a ghost tour, honey. A cheap tourist trap. We'll see some cells, hear some stories, then go get some amok. I tried to sound casual, but my heart was hammering a little faster than normal. Something was wrong. The silence under the generator's hum was too heavy, too dense, like a waterlogged blanket pressing down on us. 10 of us, mostly European backpackers, stood clustered in a messy group, our phone flashlights painting weak, frightened circles in the dark corners. Our guide, a thin man named Bori, was smiling. His smile was too wide, too polished under the jaundiced light. He wore a clean white shirt, sharply ironed, looking alarmingly pristine against the decay consuming everything around us. "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen," Bori said. His voice, too, was too clear, too sharp for the dead space. "Welcome to Tuol Bante, the Steel Fortress. Here, history is not just remembered. It is waiting." He chuckled at his own joke. None of us joined him. Tuol Bante wasn't as famous as Tuol slang in Phnom Penh, but its stories were just as bloody. An old school turned into an interrogation center by the Khmer Rouge, a piece of machinery for crushing people. And now, it was the main attraction of the Batham Bang Historical and Paranormal Tour, a sick form of entertainment. I, the skeptic, despised this stuff. But Sophia, always drawn to the spiritual, the one who saw omens in tea leaves, had insisted we come. "We are not just observing," Bori continued, starting toward a pitch-black corridor. "We are experiencing. The people who work here, they say that at night you can hear it. The screams, the dragging of chains, and sometimes the whispers. They call your name." He paused, looking back, that smile still fixed in place. "Please stick together and turn off your camera flashes. It disturbs the residents here." A blonde German girl named Anna giggled nervously. I shook my head, a small private gesture of contempt, but I still turned my flash off. We followed him into the dark. The corridor was narrow, long as the intestine of some great beast. Rotting wooden doors lined both sides, many hanging crookly on rusted hinges. Room numbers were crudely painted in red, now faded. The sickeningly sweet smell intensified. It wasn't fruit anymore. Now it smelled of desperation, old sweat, urine, and fear. "This is Block A," Bori said, his voice lower now, more theatrical. "The collective cells. They kept 50 people in a room like this." He shined his powerful flashlight through an empty doorway. Inside, my eyes saw only absolute black, but I could feel it. An invisible crowd. A pressure of too many lives crammed into too small a space, like compressed air. Sophia shivered beside me. She clutched my sleeve. "Rithi," she started, her voice catching. "Do you smell jasmine?" I sniffed. "No, just mold." "No," she insisted, her voice trembling. "Jasmine, very strong, like the incense your mother burns." A cold spike shot down my spine. My mother burned jasmine incense often, but I dismissed it. Coincidence, imagination. We kept walking. Every footstep echoed strangely. Water dripped from somewhere above, a steady, clock-like sound. The generator's hum seemed to be fading, swallowed by the darkness. Worry stopped at a closed door, this one made of metal. "Interrogation room number 3, he announced. "This is where they used special methods. Water, electricity, and other things." He placed his hand on the cold knob. "Some visitors report feeling cold hands touch them in here. Others hear a woman humming a lullaby." "Do we have to go in?" an Australian guy asked, trying to sound brave. Bori's smile flashed in the gloom. "It is an essential part of the experience." He pushed the door. Piercing metallic shriek stabbed my eardrums. The room inside was even darker than the hall. Bori panned his flashlight around. It was a small, empty room, except for an overturned metal chair in the corner and a dark, almost black stain that covered nearly the entire floor. "Now," Bori said, his voice full of drama, "to truly connect with the past, we will try something. We will turn off all our lights. For just 60 seconds. Listen." "What?" "No," Sophia said immediately, her voice tight with panic. "Don't worry, honey," I soothed, though a wave of my own fear was rising. "It's just 1 minute." Bori began to count. 3, 2, 1. His flashlight clicked off. Then, one by one, we shut off our phones. Darkness fell. It wasn't just the absence of light. It was a physical thing. Heavy, suffocating, and thick. It plugged my ears, my nose, my mouth. I could hear the others breathing, fast and shallow. I could hear my own heart pounding in my chest. 1 second. 2, 3. Absolute silence. And then I heard another sound. A rustle, very light, like coarse fabric being dragged across concrete. It was coming from the corner, where the chair was. "What was that?" the German girl whispered. "She," Bori hissed. The rustling stopped, then I heard it. A whisper. Not English. Not modern Khmer. It was an ancient, guttural sound right next to my ear. "Srey, girl." I felt Sophia jolt beside me. At the same time, I felt something touch my wrist. It was cold. Burning cold, and I could distinctly feel 3 fingers. They tightened. I shouted. "Lights!" I screamed, trying to rip my hand free from the invisible grip. Everything dissolved into chaos. Phone lights flared, stabbing wildly around the room. I looked down at my wrist. Nothing. But there, on my skin, were 3 bright red welts, rising clearly, like deep fingernail marks. 3 marks. Not 5. Exactly the 3 fingers I had felt. My logic evaporated. The blood in my veins turned to ice. Sophia was staring at the corner. Her eyes were wide, filled with a terrible, paralyzing terror. "Where did it go?" She gasped. The woman, she was right there. She was watching us. "All right, that's enough," the Australian guy said, his voice cracking. "We're getting out of here." Everyone scrambled for the door. But Bori stood blocking the exit, his smile gone, replaced by a strange, empty expression. "The tour is not over," he said, his voice flat, emotionless. "Everyone, calm down," I tried, though my hand was shaking. "Bori, we want to leave." Bori tilted his head. "But you haven't seen the best part. Solitary. Where they kept the difficult ones." He pointed down the hall, deeper into the oppressive dark. Just then, the generator died. Thump. The sound didn't fade. It was cut. Abruptly. We were plunged into absolute, total blackness. This time, it was 1,000 times more terrifying. The silence that rushed in was violent. No background hum. Just our own panicked gasps. "Be calm," Maury said, his voice now seeming to come from far away. "It's just the generator. I will go check." I heard his footsteps walking away, back the way we came. "Wait," I called out. "Don't leave us here." No reply. Just the echo of his steps. "Damn it," the Australian guy cursed. "Lights. Get your lights on." Most of us did. Weak beams from our phones sliced the dark, making shadows dance wildly on the walls. We were 9. Anna, the German girl who had giggled. She was gone. "Anna?" her friend called out, her voice trembling. "Anna, where are you?" Not a sound. "Where is she?" The Australian guy growled, shining his light in my face. "I don't know." I glanced at Sophia. She was shaking uncontrollably, but she wasn't looking at me. She was staring down the hall, where Bori had disappeared. "We have to go back," I said. Brighton, I stopped. A sound, the rustling again. This time, it wasn't from one corner. It was from every direction, from all the cells. As if dozens, hundreds of people were moving, dragging their feet on the concrete floor. "Riffy," Sophia whispered, her voice so small I could barely hear it. "They don't like the light." Just as she said it, the Australian guy's phone blinked out. Just a flicker, then black. "What the hell?" he started, but he screamed. A short, choked-off sound, and then silence. "Run!" I yelled, grabbing Sophia's hand and pulling her in the opposite direction of the entrance, deeper into the prison. I don't know why. It was instinct. The entrance felt wrong. It felt like a mouth. We ran. 8 of us, slamming into each other in the dark, lit only by the few remaining phones. The rustling was right behind us now, louder, more urgent, like a black tide. "In here," I shouted, shoving Sophia into an open cell. The others piled in after us. I slammed the wooden door. It groaned in protest. No lock. I pressed my back against it, my whole body shaking. "What the hell is happening?" Someone sobbed. We huddled together in the tiny room, pointing our weak lights at the dark doorway. "Quiet," I commanded. The rustling stopped right outside the door. I could hear breathing, a wet, ragged breathing. And then I smelled it again. Jasmine? Overpowering, suffocating. It choked me. "Sophia," I whispered. "Are you okay?" She didn't answer. She was standing in the corner, her back to us. "Sophia." I shined my light on her. She turned slowly. It wasn't Sophia. I mean, it was her face, her clothes, but her eyes. They were entirely white, milky, devoid of life. And she was smiling. The exact same smile as Bori. Wide, polished. "You should have listened," she said. The voice wasn't hers. It was a grotesque harmony of many voices, old and young, male and female, all speaking at once. "They are so hungry, Riffy." Behind me, the wooden door didn't open. It exploded into splinters. I didn't run. I was frozen. I could only stare into my wife's blank white eyes as the darkness flooded in, bringing with it the shriek of metal and the smell of rust. Everything went black. I woke to pain. My head was pounding. I was on the cold concrete floor, alone. The room was empty. No Sophia, no other tourists. I scrambled up, fumbling for my phone. It was gone. The only light was a weak, jaundiced sliver coming from the hallway. The generator was running again. Its steady, monotonous growl was a grotesque, false comfort. I staggered into the hall. "Sophia," I called out. My voice was a raw croak. Only an echo answered, but the hallway looked different. The smell of rust and mold was gone, replaced by the smell of new plaster. The broken doors were now solid, painted a fresh, dull gray. The red numbers looked new. "Bori," I yelled, desperate. I started to run back toward the entrance. I had to get out. I had to find Sophia. I ran through the main hall where we started. It was empty, clean. I threw myself at the front door, slamming my shoulder into the metal bar. It didn't budge. I hit it again. It was locked solid. "Oh God, no," I panted, beating on the door. "Help me. They cannot hear you." Bori's voice came from behind me. I spun around. He was standing at the entrance to the corridor, hands clasped behind his back. Still the clean white shirt. Perfect. Still that smile. "What did you do to her?" I growled, stalking toward him. "Where is Sophia?" "She is part of the experience," Bori said calmly, as if discussing the weather. "Just like the others. Just like you." "What the hell are you talking about?" "The tour," Bori said, beginning to stroll around the hall. "A fascinating concept. People pay to be frightened. They seek a thrill. They want to touch a tragic past without actually getting dirty." He stopped by a wall of black and white photos of victims. "But this place, Rithi, it has rules. It does not like to be trivialized. The pain here is too great. It has become a conscious thing. It feeds. You're insane. I am the caretaker," he corrected. "My ancestors died here. They speak to me. They told me the pain needs to be soothed." "The other tourists," I whispered, the cold shock running down my spine. "Where are they?" Bori chuckled. "You thought Anna was from Germany? She was from Bristol, the 2011 tour. This place likes to keep souvenirs." "And Sophia," I choked out. "Why her?" "Because of you," Bori said, his smile fading, revealing something cold and cruel beneath. "You brought her here. This place doesn't feed on fear. It feeds on skepticism. It feeds on your logic, Rithi. It breaks you by taking what you love." "No," I shook my head. "No, this is a nightmare. Do you hear that?" Bori asked, tilting his head. I listened. Beneath the generator's hum, I heard a new sound. Tires on gravel. A car engine shutting off. Laughter. "The midnight tour," Bori said, smoothing his shirt. "Always the most popular." He walked toward the front door. I lunged, my fist raised. "Let me out." My hand passed right through him. Like moving through cold air. I stared at my hand. I felt nothing. Bori turned, and for a second, his face blurred. It melted. It shifted. For one horrific moment, I saw dozens of other faces superimposed on his. "Oh, you can't leave," the multitonal voice chimed. "You are the new main attraction." The front door opened. A new group of tourists filed in, blinking in the jaundiced light, laughing and nudging each other. A new guide, a young woman, smiled at them. She winked at Bori. "Welcome, ladies and gentlemen," she began. "Welcome to Tuol Bante." I stood there in the hall. The group walked past me. They looked right through me, as if I didn't exist. I tried to scream. "Don't come in." "Run," but no sound came out. I looked down at my hands. They were fading, translucent. The cold I felt at the beginning, it was inside me now. I smelled jasmine, overpowering, and I heard the whisper. "Srey." It was coming from the walls themselves. They were calling the new tourists' names. I turned back to the corridor. The darkness was beckoning. I could hear a lullaby. Sophia was in here somewhere. I knew it. I had to find her. I walked into the dark, no longer a tourist, but a part of the history, a part of the horror. I am the warning, and I am waiting. Thanks for watching until the end. What was your favorite part? Please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my future content. Your support is my biggest motivation. Thank you all so much.